Welcome to Swirl, your A through Z covering the LGBT, LMNOP, and everyone in between show. I'm Michelle Meow, your host. May 22nd was Harvey Milk Day, so throughout the show tonight, we will remember and honor Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk was the first out gay politician in the country and also served in San Francisco as district supervisor. He was tragically murdered by Dan White, who is a former fellow supervisor. Coming up on the show tonight, Shaw Redenour of Love, Life, and Sex makes an amazing shake that you can bring into the bedroom. Jack Rich hits the gym, and Sima the Inclusionist has your Bay Area Diversity Watchdog report. But for now, it's time for the Giga News. In the month of May, the San Francisco International Airport announced that a terminal will be named after Harvey Milk. How perfect is that? Supervisor David Campos had initially introduced the campaign for the entire airport to be named after Harvey Milk, but because we did not receive the full support, we'll settle for the terminal. After all, millions of people visit the international airport every year, so Harvey Milk's name will move on and live on. In marriage equality news, 3 states, that's not 1, that's not 2, but that's 3 states have approved marriage equality this month. That's Rhode Island, Delaware, and Minnesota. In Delaware, the state Senate approved the measure by a 12-9 vote, and in Minnesota, starting August 1st, gay and lesbians will be able to marry legally. Now, it's rumored that Michelle Bachmann has threatened to move from Minnesota. My response to that would be, well, Michelle, you could use a tan, so maybe Hawaii's a great state to move to. Now, that's a total of 12 states that have marriage equality now, so we're hoping that California will be number 13. Come on, California! So in major headline news, and we're talking so major it was like worldwide, that is the coming out story of Jason Collins. Jason Collins is the first out gay professional athlete. In an article that he penned for Sports Illustrated, he said, "I'm a 34-year-old NBA center, I'm black, and I'm gay." Jason wore the number 98 on his jersey to recognize Matthew Shepard, who was murdered in 1998. And also, 98 was also the year that the Trevor Project, a suicide prevention hotline, was formed. That's it for Giga News. Next up is Sima the Inclusionist with your Bay Area Diversity Watchdog report.
Today, my report is on the Marriott Hotel. Some people say the Marriott Hotel supports diversity and inclusion. Other people say not so much. I wanted to find out for myself. The way I find out is by talking to frontline employees, because they're the ones that know what's really going on in the organization. First person I saw was the bellman, I'll call Phil. And I went up to Phil and I said, "What do you do here?" And Phil turned around and he said, "I lighten the load of guests. I extend Marriott hospitality to everyone. And I want people to know the minute they get here that they're going to have a wonderful experience." And I said, "Everyone?" He said, "Yes, everyone." I said, "What about LGBT?" I thought maybe he wouldn't know what I was talking about. And he said, "Yes, of course." He looked at me like I was nuts. He said, "We have so many LGBT events here. We have so many events here. We love having people here. And that people love coming back." I said, "Well, you think everybody feels that way?" And he said, "Well, everyone who works here knows. And if not, they really shouldn't work here." So I saw a security guard next. You know, there's been so many issues with security guards, discriminating against people because they don't really work for the company. So I thought, let's check out the security guard. So I went up to the security guard and I said, "Who do you work for?" He said he worked for the Marriott. And I said, "Well, what do you do here?" He said, "I'm the eyes and ears of the hotel. I extend Marriott hospitality in every part of the hotel, and I make all of our guests feel safe, secure, and welcome." I said, "Do you really like working here?" And he said, "I love working here." I said, "Why?" And he said, "We have great benefits. It's a wonderful feeling here. We feel like we're part of a team, and we have wonderful benefits." "Like what?" He said, "Well, for instance, one of the benefits related to diversity is that any employee at any level has access to the Rosetta Stone programs. Any of us could learn any language that we want, so we can relate to as many different kinds of people that we can. And I said, well, what do you know about diversity and the mission? He said, everyone in this organization knows about diversity and inclusion. It's part of our culture. He told me that that was one of the reasons why he decided he wanted to work at the Marriott. And let me just end by saying that one problem with many hotels, many organizations, is that there are great benefits at the top, but people at the bottom don't get any. And the fact that the Marriott extends those benefits to all their employees says to me, let me give a shout out to the Marriott.
Thank you, Sima, our resident diversity expert, and thank you to our sponsor, Pacific Fertility Center. When life needs a little encouragement, Pacific Fertility Center will be right by your side. Coming up after the break, Jack Rich goes to the gym with In Your Shoes. Welcome back to Swirl. Sometimes you need that buddy who'll listen to you when you're at the bar, you've gone through a breakup, or you just want a buddy to go to the gym with. Well, that's Jack Rich. And here's Jack Rich with In Your Shoes.
How's everybody doing out there? I'm Jack Rich with In Your Shoes. Sitting here next to me is none other than fitness trainer and lifter, Mitch Mitchell. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
What is it about muscles? I'm so amazed about why is it that we are so infatuated with lifting, bodybuilding,
Right.
self-image. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think overall, each day that I come in, I try to better myself from the day before.
Right.
I obviously have a goal in mind, so trying to accomplish that goal takes progress, and it's like a short process of daily doing the tasks at hand.
Do you think that there's something about trying to gain the attention of others, or is it just pure physical self-awareness?
Oh, no,
and
not at
identity?
all. Like, I don't care if my arteries are doing well or if my heart's pumping. I think it's completely narcissistic. But I do know that setting goals is really important, but ultimately, you know, putting your best foot forward, which is going to be the physical standpoint in attracting, you know, a mate or a partner.
Describe for us what the mentality of gym culture is all about.
Well, the gym culture it's one of those places where people come to, you know, relieve stress. They come to work out any kind of insecurities as well. I think it's a tough culture to kind of infiltrate, especially if you're new, because it can be really intimidating.
Do you think that there's a difference between exercising versus bodybuilding?
A huge difference.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think bodybuilding, you have specific goals with body parts to get maybe more size, more strength.
Right.
Whereas exercise, I think, is maybe like an overall fitness. It could be attained, but it could be more arbitrary. Going back to bodybuilding, I think you do have the actual physical definition and attributes that you look for to get accomplished. So
How long does it take you to get that mass size that you got going on?
well, I've been doing this for about 11 years, so it's been consistency and a lot of effort. I wake up about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and get to the gym by about 5:30.
Favorite piece of gym equipment?
I'm a leg guy, so I actually like leg presses or squats.
Legs.
Yeah, my other pair of legs.
We're gonna go through some exercises and hopefully, you know, I'm actually gonna look twice as big as this guy.
Thank you, Jack Rich, and thank you to Kaiser Permanente. We want you to live long and thrive. Coming up, we've got a special interview that hits close to home, an issue we've all been talking about for the last 3 weeks. So stick around right after the break. Welcome back to Swirl. We're honoring and remembering Harvey Milk tonight. A fact for those who don't know, Harvey Milk was responsible for sponsoring bills that outlawed discrimination based on sexual orientation. Tonight, we address an issue that everyone has been talking about, and it has been in the media across the country. And that issue is San Francisco Pride and the reverse decision of Private Bradley Manning as Grand Marshal. Our interview today is with Gary Virginia, who's a former Grand Marshal. Welcome, Gary Virginia, community activist, and also you were the former Grand Marshal from last year, but specifically community Grand Marshal, right?
That's right. I was elected by the Electoral College of former Grand Marshals in 2012.
So this situation of Private Bradley Manning, at first he was elected as Grand Marshal from the San Francisco Pride Board, but then they rescinded the decision, and then they said they might think about it, and now they said, let's move on. You know, is that right? Is that basically how it all started?
Almost. There are certain policies in place of how you become a Grand Marshal with the Pride Parade and celebration. And one of those slots for the Community Grand Marshal is elected by the Electoral College. So every year Pride sends out an email soliciting the former Grand Marshals saying it's now time to nominate. People send in nominations, and then you get a second email saying these are the nominees on the ballot. Please vote for one by this date. So having been in the Electoral College, I know that the same system has been used for years. And Joey Kane was the one who nominated Bradley Manning, and he's a past Pride president for 4 years and a past Grand Marshal. So when I saw that name on the ballot, I was so excited because he is a local hero to me. In the military, fighting Don't Ask, Don't Tell, observing international war crime violations and exposing it to help save lives for people, not just military, but civilians as well, not just Americans, but international people as well.
So you're in the community, and you have spoken to many people. Why do you think San Francisco Pride, you know, rescinded the decision in the first place?
Because Pride's not been transparent about their reasoning, and they've basically shut out community dialogue about it, it really casts a shadow of doubt and credibility on the organization. And the letters that we've seen published by Lisa Williams as president and subsequent blog postings about them saying the issue is closed regarding Bradley Manning for the year. They canceled their calendared meeting on May 14th for the general membership, saying we're not going to meet until after Pride. It leaves one to wonder. But we do have evidence that there was a gay military group, one man based out of San Diego and others, who did not like the fact that Manning was going to be honored in our parade.
Right. I mean, let's talk about Private Bradley Manning just really quick. You know, Private Bradley Manning is an out military official who leaked over 700,000 classified documents to WikiLeaks. And, you know, there's tension in some of the countries as far as the documents that talk about, like Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, don't you think that might suggest that we're a threat or a danger? No one feels this way as far as those who oppose San Francisco Pride's decision to rescind the decision?
It's a complicated issue, but, you know, the advocates that are wanting to honor the election results because he was the highest vote getter, according to a person on staff at Pride told me he got the most votes. There's been nothing proven that he put anybody in harm's way. In fact, there are many people like Daniel Ellsberg, who released the Pentagon Papers in 1971, who helped end the Vietnam War. He's championed Bradley Manning, saying, I was called a traitor too, and now I'm considered an American hero for helping get us out of Vietnam. So the timing of the release of documents were very calculated by Bradley Manning to have the least amount of impact that could potentially harm anybody. And in fact, our government was not going to leave Iraq at the scheduled time that we did, and it was due to the timing, we believe, of Bradley Manning exposing our government lies.
So as a former community grand marshal, what do you want San Francisco Pride to do? What will make you feel better?
Well, for Lisa Williams to say there's a systemic problem in the voting process, and how can a handful of people select a grand marshal, I'm offended. And I think every grand marshal who is elected by the Electoral College, our titles are diminished when she says that. It casts a doubt on the actual open process of nominating and electing. If Bradley Manning wasn't eligible, it was the responsibility of Pride to vet that and let the nominator know that he was ineligible at the very beginning. But to have him be nominated and accepted, on the ballot and accepted, they released the data that he had won. So there's obviously some kind of pressure that forced them to rescind it, and now they're projecting their political opinion on the Electoral College. It's not for them to approve or disapprove. It's our vote.
So San Francisco Pride says the issue of Bradley Manning is closed for the year. So does that mean everyone goes home? Does that mean come, you know, June, the end of June, we party and celebrate like we normally do?
It's a very pious position to take to say the conversation's over. In fact, we filed a formal complaint with the Human Rights Commission based on discrimination. And in fact, Supervisor David Campos sent a letter to Pride today telling them they need to be more transparent and accountable and he strongly urged them to host a community meeting for dialogue before Pride occurs.
Right. Gary, thank you so much for joining us here on Swirl and, giving us a piece of your mind, letting us know how this has affected you. Thanks so much, Gary. Thank you, Gary, Virginia, for your very thoughtful interview. And thanks to our sponsor, Honda Oakland, who supports diversity. Coming up, we've got It's More Than a Feeling, It's All Things Mia, and Shar Rednauer of Love, Life, and Sex. Welcome back to Swirl. We're honoring and remembering Harvey Milk tonight. A fact for those who don't know, Harvey Milk was also a businessman. He owned Wolf's Camera Shop that was located on 18th and Castro. Now it's time for Shar Rednauer of Love, Life, and Sex.
Hi, I'm Shar Rednauer, and this is Shar Rednauer's Love, Life, and Sex. Today's segment is called Healthy Living is Healthy Sexuality. People who are worried about erectile dysfunction or women who want stronger, better orgasms, let's think about this. Our sex organs are filled with blood. We want lots of strong pumping hearts and pumping blood. So I'm gonna make what I call my Vavoom smoothie. I start out with some wonderful antioxidants in mango. Mango is an absolutely fantastic fruit to have. And then I have some locally grown cherries. Cherries are considered one of the superfoods. They always have been associated with strong blood, getting rid of heart disease. They're just absolutely amazing. Those are also local cherries. If you don't find cherries in season, they're very special, go ahead and get a canned local cherry that's in its own juice. Here I have some local honey. Yay, this honey is right from Oakland, California. Next is my secret ingredient. If you look up, you will never find, if you look up on the internet, you'll never find a smoothie that has cardamom in it, but mine does, because cardamom is a very ancient spice that is said to make the blood strong. It helps with a number of ailments. You can only use a pinch though, because it is a strong flavor. And then last but not least, my pure coconut milk. This is what's gonna make it very luxurious and smooth. I'm gonna sneak in just a little bit of kale. Now, if it was for me, I wouldn't have to sneak it in. I love my greens, but not everybody does. Now, before you're cringing, don't worry about that. I have some testers here who are gonna tell you the truth about whether or not they like my Vavoom smoothie. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Here I come with our Vavoom smoothies.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Look at this.
So my testers today is my friend Teresa Rosetta, the coveted personal trainer to the Bay Area.
Oh, hi.
And this is my friend / brother Stephen Mounts, pastry chef. And my friend Cheryl Dunier, award-winning filmmaker.
Hi.
Okay, so we've got our health and we've got our culture, we've got it all.
Yay.
Let's see here. I think you definitely should have that one, and then Teresa and I will have these.
Yes.
Okay.
There, let's
Okay.
gender bend, okay?
All right.
Cheers, and let me know what you guys think.
Okay. Right.
Oh wow.
Oh, I love the kale.
That is so good.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And can you taste a little bit of cardamom? That's my
Yeah.
secret. That's for strong blood.
That is delicious.
Okay, great. Well, here's to Love, Life, and Sex.
Thank you, Shar, for that lovely shake. I think I'll make one tonight. Now it's time for It's More Than a Feeling, It's All Things Mia.
I'm Mia Macy, Swirl Television's resident fangirl, with the latest in film, television, music, and entertainment news, with a trans twist. Now, no fangirl or geek boy's life can be complete without a little music. Here are just a few trans artists rockin', rapping, and just out there currently changing the world. Now, he was once the frontman of the rock punk band Life of Agony, but Keith Caputo shed her past, transitioned a few years back, and now is Mina Caputo. She is a solo artist and her genre in a genre known for headbanging, mosh pits, and jackboots. But she had the strength, and you can find her tour information on her website, and you can download her latest albums. She's amazing. Now the next artist up is coming from the pop sensation Kim Petras. She has brains, great looks, and at 2 years old, she knew she was transgender. She had the love and support of her family, and she underwent gender reassignment at a very early age, and she has never looked back. Now, Europe has known for a couple years what America is just getting to hear, that Kim Petras is a superstar. Thank you, Kim. Now, Storm Miguel Flores, he's a local boy here in the Bay, and I catch him whenever and wherever I can. He has a catalog of original music, and he does piles of cover songs to match. I'm always in awe when I get a chance to hear him. He's a folk rock country shaman on the guitar. That gives this gal some goosebumps. Now, go to Storm Miguel's website to catch his latest tour information. Now, the next up is Angelique Ross. She's a new artist. Well, she's gonna be huge. Now, can you imagine Lorna Hill, Dido, and Jewel had a daughter? I know, dreamy, right? She's a strong African-American artist, and she is an angel to the ears. Now, Miss Ross has a website and current videos. Seek her out, find her. That's Angelique Ross. There are hundreds of more trans-positive musicians, like Dee Palmer from Jethro Tull, Wendy Carlos, who's out there scoring films like Tron and The Shining. Seek them out and enjoy. You can follow me on Twitter at Mia Marie Macy. Now, until next time, fangirls, fanboys, download frequently and often. It's all things Mia.
Thank you, Mia, for that awesome music review. And thank you to Fountain Grove Lodge, luxury retirement living with a commitment to diversity. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Swirl, your A through Z covering the LGBT, LMNOP, and everyone in between show. Tonight, we remembered and recognized Harvey Milk for his great contributions to the LGBTQ community. We addressed a topic or an issue, the San Francisco Pride ordeal as far as Grand Marshals goes, so hopefully we'll remember what Pride's about. We also gave you a lot of fun in the bedroom, in the gym, and also a diversity watchdog report. Now, hopefully, you'll stay with us. As Harvey Milk said, I'm Harvey Milk and I'm recruiting you. So I'll say, I'm Michelle Meow and I'm recruiting you to watch our next show, which is June 23rd. And that's going to be our special Pride show. So make sure you tune in. 9:30 at night, June 23rd. Write it in your calendar right now. Now, if you can't wait by then to get our next show, you also can head to swirlradio.com and we're available to you 24/7. There's a whole lot more content. Thanks again for joining us, and thanks to our sponsor, Michelle Meow with Swirl. We'll see you next time.